Detected dog of the day, August the 6th, straight up 8 a.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. The sharpshooter's mission. Make you be all you can be with a Deus too if you own one. I've showed something similar to this before. You know, when people gets these machines now, this is with the remote only. The old ground balance button. And to be honest with you, I'm not sure any other YouTuber has showed what I'm going to show in this video. Okay, so you want to go out and you want to hunt for high conductive coins. Now remember, you know, an old Indian head don't read as high as a dime. Okay. And a dime, silver dime, doesn't read as high as a quarter. Where I'm going with this is, you know, correspondingly, their ID, the same size, smaller conductive trash would drive their ID lower. Okay, so a silver dime, you could see a 85 or 6 in the window of this machine. Mask, and the machine will expose it for you. But that's close to the old ID of the old zinc and penny, ain't it? So if you take this machine into a site and you're just disking zinc and pennies, you could miss some good finds, higher conductive, even Indian head pennies. Okay, silver coins. So what we're going to look at here is, you see that square tab there, a sliver of it, and you see that barber dime down there. Okay. So we're going to go over here first. We're going to look at sensitive program in the 3 tones with no notch. Okay. And I've got the tone break set to 84, I believe it is. Probably need to turn it up a little bit. There it is. So that got it to a mid-tone. Alright, so if you was in the wild with this machine, now the speed on this machine is speed 1. You're looking for some of the deeper stuff. But you know, you don't know if it's what you're going to come across is going to be deeper or shallower. You see that. What would you hear on this machine? Notice the ID. 72. So sweeping from right to left, you don't hear no high tone, do you? Right to left, you hear a sliver, but the ID is 72. You glance the meter, and you're like, oh, that ain't no silver coin. I'm not interested in that. That can't be high conductive. Now, you hear that zinc and penny on a mid-tone. Okay? So now we're going to go to sensitive FT. Full tones. Now I've got a notch in it of 87. Okay. Speed 1. What do we hear on this target? Sort of shaky, ain't it, boys? I wouldn't want to depend on just hearing that on that coin on that one-way sweep there. That's pretty pipsqueaky. Speed that sweep up, you don't hear much on that, do you? Now, we've got that zinc notched, but what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. Okay, there's bare bone zinc and notch. That's what I have to do to notch it. We're in 24 max frequency, I believe. No, this is 40. We'll look at 24 though. So now I'm going to sweep over this again. I've got bare bones requirements to notch a zinc and penny. What do we get here, speed 1? You hear that? That's not very good, is it? External speakers maxed on the machine. Alright. Change the max frequency, sensitive FT. Remember, noise cancel could affect where a zinc and penny comes at on this machine. I'm going to lower the notch a little. Okay, we're at 24 max frequency now. Sensitive FT, bare bones notch to get rid of that zinc and penny. What do we hear on this now? 24 max frequency. So we got an 86 in the meter. Some people may not think that's a silver coin down there, huh? They may walk off. All right, with that same notch, we're going to go down here and change the max frequency to 40. We ain't got no zinking. All right, what do we hear here now? Pretty pipsqueaky one-way signal, okay? So now we're going to go in here. We're going to lower the notch. We're going to lower the notch to 78. Now, we know we're going to hear the zinking. We'll come back to that in just a moment. This is version 200, by the way, 9-inch coil. Same speed with a 78 notch. What do we hear here? Now we got two-way signal, don't we? Let me get my coil straight. So we're sweeping over this now. We got two-way signal. There's an 80 in the meter. So what would we do in the wild if we were using this machine? Okay, well, let's mash this ground balance button here. Now remember, this is a 40 max frequency. I'll change it to 24 and let's sweep over it now with a 78 notch. Look at my ID. 8081, predominantly. So we'll leave it at 24 max frequency. Now remember the notch I've got in this machine. 78. Alright. Two-way signal. We see a 79, a 82, 81 in the meter. I'm going to hit that ground balance button. Now large ID is selected. I just hit the ground balance button. You see that ID? Look what that ID did. Dropped, didn't it? Now that's full tones, but you see it drop. Alright, now I'm going to hit the ground balance button. I'm coming back over here. We're going to sweep the zinking. I'm going to mash the ground balance button. We don't see no drop in the ID, do we? Sounds the same, don't it, when sweeping? What does that tell you as a Deus 2 user? Now, let's go back over here. We'll change the max frequency back to 24. Okay. The notch is at 78. Okay. Two-way signal with an 82, 81 in the meter. I'm going to hit the ground balance button. Re-sweep. You hear that? Look at that meter. Look at that. Now, if that was foil down there, you would be seeing an even lower number. You might see a 34, for example, but that's a little higher conductor there. See that thing right there? Okay. You hear that? I'm going to mash the ground balance button. We don't see no 60-something in the meter, do we? But when I hit that ground balance button, we see that, don't we? Now I'm coming back over here to the zinc and penny. Still 78 notch. So we're in the wild and we get that. We look down at the meter. Oh, 84. Let's mash the ground balance button. I'm still getting an 84. What would that tell you? Oh, that's probably a solo twist cap or a solo zinc and penny. I think I'll walk. But what about this one? This one's different, ain't it? No ground balance button in. You hear that? Hit the ground balance button. Now, large ID is going to come up in the screen as long as you have that selected. You hear that? Look at there. You get different audio and different VDI signature. Okay? Now, I'm going to go back to sensitive FT, or sensitive program. 3 toes was selected. With this zinc and penny, I've got it given a mid-tone. We'll sweep again here. So I'm actually getting some audio there that's telling me there's something there, but fail-safe measures-wise, I don't really have a ID behavior to look at. Not using the ground balance key, just going out and open sweeping this detector. So which way do you like better? Which way? How many targets in a site are going to read 79, 80, 81, 82, 83? Yeah, if there's a bunch of zincons out there, they will. But if you notch those zincons, you stand a chance of missing a target that's compromised. That maybe a lot of other detectorists might go by, because they don't know how to get the intel out of that situation with this machine. Okay? Maybe they don't know. And they're basing a lot of, these multi-frequency machines, you hear it talk, oh, they give superior ID. Well, yeah, they give good ID. But targets can still be compromised. So you're taking advantage of somebody else's shortcomings, maybe. You maybe even be taking advantage of some of your very own, because you didn't know any better. Okay? So that's my mission. Make you be all you can be with this equipment. Some targets in the wild out there, they're not as obvious in trying to run high notch to block the junk necessarily, up tight, what we call it, closer to the wall. Well, you can do that. Okay. But like I said, how many targets in an old schoolyard, for example, are going to read 79, 80, 81, 82? Well, you get to go through them. If you don't hear any iron tone, just like this zinc in here, let me go back to my program here. I've got the iron region open on this machine, I believe. I can open it up. If it was open, you wouldn't hear any iron tone there, would you? And you don't see any change in the tone, or running full tones, or the VDI. Unlike that scenario. So if you heard iron tone on an 80 reading signal, maybe you want to dig it. See what I'm saying? This machine is like, it's your detective. That's what it's doing. It's telling you about the situation, and you have to do the math, okay? And that ground balance button on this machine allows you to run some knots so you don't have to hear all the junk. But you may have to tolerate some of it, but you get to cull it. A 79 reading solo signal with no iron tone, match the ground balance button. You hear no change in the tone. You see no change in the ID. That would tell you what? Extremely low odds that's a silver or copper coin, right? Probably not even an engine head. That's going to conclude the detecting talk of the day. Have a nice day.